Dragon Age Origins was rated M for mature by the ESRB and contains blood, intense violence, language, partial nudity, and sexual content. Viewer discretion is advised. Hello everyone, my name is Amaronith and I play games for the internet, and today we're playing Dragon Age Origins. But Amaronith, you might be saying to yourself, this isn't Denerim, we were in Denerim. What's going on? What's going on is that I hecked up. And I need Leliana's companion quest. So what we're going to do is going to hurt me more than it hurts anyone else here.
Anything I can do for you, please tell me.
Of course, Bodan. Let's see your ways.
I'm sure you'll be pleased with the goods my boy and I have collected, and with your discount.
Of course, of course. Remember how I said that these were just hurtful and they would, well, not the sugar cake, but these were hurtful and they'd only upset your party? We're going to deliberately upset Leliana. Be prepared for a massive drop in our approval.
That's lovely, I suppose.
She now doesn't care for us at all. Ooh! I didn't realize that... Oh, but low morale. No. Refuse. I didn't realize there were actual armor.
Yes? Something you need?
I'd like to talk to you about something.
Yes? What's on your mind?
I heard that in Olay, minstrels are often spies.
Where did you hear this?
I don't remember.
Not all minstrels are spies. Most are just singers and storytellers, but some of them are what we call bards.
And the bards are spies.
Bards are minstrels and more. Spies, as you say. Some say there is a bard order, but I don't think this is true. Many bards work alone or in small groups, doing the bidding of a patron who pays for their services. If there is an organization behind it all, no one knows who they are.
What sort of services does a bard offer?
What do you think? They infiltrate, steal, sometimes assassinate? It depends on the bard. In Orlais, there is much rivalry amongst the highborn. They fight over land, influence, and the favor of the Empress. But they cannot do this openly because it is impolite, and in public, they wear smiling faces and pretend to be civil. In secret, they plot and scheme to destroy each other. It is a game completely meaningless to anyone but its players.
You were bad, weren't you?
I have revealed too much, it seems. But it doesn't matter what I used to be. It is the past.
But why were you living a cloistered sister in rural Ferelden?
I found myself in Ferelden and sheltered from bad weather in the Chantry. And when the storm passed, I just did not want to leave. I like to say the Maker brought me here. Looking for little old me?
Can you teach me to be a bard?
That's an idea. I've watched you, and I do think you'd find some of my skills quite easy to pick up. Let's just go over there, away from the others, for safety, yes? I expect there shall be daggers flying about willy-nilly for a time.
Yes. Yeah. Actually, let's, Oh, who's my big brave dog? Not yet unlocked. Arcane Warrior. Blood Mage. Right, alright. So that's everyone, or at least it should be. Okay.
Looking for little old me?
Yeah.
Yes?
Like to talk to you
What's
about
on your mind?
You're a travelling minstrel. Do you have any tales to share?
Of course I do. I love stories far too much to keep them to myself. Everyone should be able to benefit from them, I think.
There was another story I wanted to hear.
Which one?
Do you know anything about the Dalish?
I know little about your people, but I may be misinformed, and I would hate to offend you.
That's why we must learn more about each other.
I have heard a little about how the elves gained their freedom from the Tevinter Imperium. When Andraste began her exalted march against the Imperium, the elves joined her cause to fight their masters. The great elven leader, Shatan, born in captivity, rose up to lead his people. He foresaw a future where the elves were free. Shatan was killed when Andraste was betrayed, but the elves continued to fight, eventually breaking free of the Imperium. The elves claimed the Dales in the south and settled there in a land of their own.
It didn't last.
The elves lived in the Dales for centuries. They resurrected the worship of the elven gods and would allow the building of no chantry. This angered the chantry, and the hostility between the two factions finally broke out in open war. The chantry says the elves struck first, but I do not know whether to believe it. The chantry declared a wholly exalted march against the elves, named for Andraste's similar march against Tevinter. During the exalted march of the Dales, the elven cities were sacked, and the elven state completely dissolved. Some of the elves bitterly accepted their fates and surrendered to human rule, living in the human cities as second-class citizens. But others, still fiercely proud of their heritage, refused to bow to the humans, and instead became homeless wanderers. They were the elves of the Dales, the Dalish.
What do you know about Andraste?
Andraste was the Maker's chosen. The Maker had long since abandoned the world when the sound of her singing turned his ear. Beauty, grace, and wisdom enraptured him, and he offered to take her from this flawed world to become his divine bride. But Andraste had an earthly husband and would not forsake him. Instead, she beseeched the Maker to return to his people once more. So earnest was her plea that the Maker was moved and promised that he would create a paradise on earth if all abandoned their false gods and turned once more to him. And this is why Andraste began her exalted march on the idolaters of the Tevinter Imperium. The Maker granted her his powers with which to smite her enemies. Andraste brought the Imperium to its knees, and her victories converted many to the worship of the Maker.
How did Andraste die?
Alas, it was the frailties of men that betrayed and killed Andraste. Her earthly husband, Maferath, a chieftain of the Alamari tribes himself, grew jealous as his wife's popularity and influence overshadowed his own. She was also revered as the Maker's betrothed, and Maferath began to see their own bond waning in significance as Andraste became ever more devoted to the Maker. Out of envy and spite, Maferath made a pact with the Archon Hysarian of Tevinter, allowing his beloved Andraste to be ambushed and captured. Andraste was burned at the stake in Minrathos, the capital of Tevinter.
But Tevinter has a chantry, doesn't it?
The Tevinter chantry claims that in Andraste's last moments, Hysarian's heart softened, and he heard the voice of the Maker telling him to end her suffering. He plunged his sword into her heart, and as her blood washed over his hands, he became one of the faithful. Dissenters said that the Archon only converted because he could not stem the tide of Andraste's cult, and was forced to do so to stay in power. We will never know for sure.
Let's just move on. Alright.
Looking for little old me?
Want to talk to you about something?
Yes? What's on your mind?
This vision of yours... I don't remember if we've done these options before. Well, why did you decide to come to Ferelden?
My mother was from Denerim, and I consider myself a Ferelden. Mother served an Orlesian noblewoman who lived here when Orlais ruled. When Orlais was defeated and the common folk began to resent the presence of any Orlesian, the lady returned to Orlais. She took my mother with her. I was born in Orlais and did not set foot in Ferelden till much later. Mother was always telling me stories of her homeland. I think she missed it.
Was she not happy in Orlais?
She wasn't unhappy. We had a good life, and she liked Orlais well enough. I loved it, though. Val was so vibrant, colorful. Mother died when I was very young. Lady Cecilie let me stay with her. I had no one else. She was quite old then, and she had me study music and dance to entertain her. It is unfair that I have more memories of Cecilie than my mother.
Do you remember nothing of your mother?
Strangely, the only thing I really remember of Mother was her scent. She kept dried flowers in her closet amongst her clothes. Small white Ferelden wildflowers with a sweet fragrance. Mother called them Andraste's Grace. They were very rare in Orlais. But enough about that. Let us move on. Looking for little old me?
I'd like to talk to you about
Yes?
something...
What's on your mind?
Do you miss anything about Orlais?
I miss Val-Royeaux. Unlike other cities where the people are the lifeblood and the character, Val-Royeaux was her own person, and her people little more than decorations. There was always music in Val-Royeaux, streaming from the many windows, quiet refrains and triumphant choruses, and always, floating above that all, the chant, coming from the Grand Cathedral. It was magnificent.
It sounds... I've never been to Orlais.
If you get the chance, you should see it, at least Val-Royeaux. Of course there are good things and bad things about Orlais, like anywhere else. Sometimes I miss it dearly, and sometimes I'm glad I'm rid of it. And you will laugh at this, but I miss the fine things I had in Orlais.
Do you not have fine things now?
I left behind much, leaving Orlais, but there is more to life than dresses and furs. It is sad that many have lost sight of this. Orlais is very fashionable, almost ridiculously so. But the shoes! Living with those ridiculous trends was worth it for the shoes.
Were they ridiculous shoes?
Sometimes. About 10 years ago, all the ladies went mad for shoes with soles as large and heavy as bricks. But it isn't always that silly. When I left Orlais, the fashion was shoes with delicate tapered heels and embellishments in the front. A ribbon, perhaps, or embroidery. In soft colors, of course. It was spring.
Oh, that sounds so lovely.
I had my eye on a pair my shoemaker was working on. It was covered in pale blue silk, with amber beads on the toe. The shoes made in Orlais were exquisite. Not at all like these clunky fur-lined leather boots you have in Ferelden. Ugh, just look at them.
At least they keep the cold out.
They're sturdy shoes, but sometimes a girl just wants to have pretty feet. Oh, I could talk about shoes all day, but we have things to do, don't we? Looking for little old me?
I'd like to talk to you about something.
Yes? What's on your mind?
This vision of yours.
I knew this would come up sooner or later. I don't know how to explain, but I had a dream. In it, there was an impenetrable darkness. It was so dense, so real. And there was a noise, a terrible, ungodly noise. I stood on a peak, and watched as the darkness consumed everything. And when the storm swallowed the last of the sun's light, I fell, and the darkness drew me in.
What then?
When I woke, I went to the Chantry's gardens, as I always do. But that day, the rosebush in the corner had flowered. Everyone knew that bush was dead. It was grey and twisted and gnarled, the ugliest thing you ever saw. But there it was, a single beautiful rose. It was as though the Maker stretched out his hand to say, even in the midst of this darkness, there is hope and beauty. Have faith.
And this made you want to help me?
In my dream, I fell, or maybe I jumped. I'd do anything to stop the blight. I know that we can do it. There are so many good things in the Maker's world. How can I sit by while the blight devours everything?
I suppose I couldn't sit by either.
That is why you're a Grey Warden. Come, there's a blight to stop.
Alright. Let's do a thing.
If there's anything I can do for you, please tell me.
We're gaming the system.
I'm sure you'll be pleased with the goods my boy and I have collected, and with your discount.
Each of these thoughtful gifts is 10 affection. So right now Leliana cares. But
Why, thank you so much.
66. No.
Looking for little old me?
I'd like to talk to
Yes?
you about some.
What's on your mind?
You a traveling
Of
minstrel?
course I do.
Minstrel.
I love
Blah, blah.
stories far too much to keep them to myself. Everyone should be able to benefit from them, I think.
Tell me about Elindra and her soldier.
A long time ago, there lived a fair maiden called Elindra. She had many suitors, but spurned them all, for she did not love them. One day, Elindra was sitting by her window in her father's castle, singing and dreaming, when her lovely voice caught the attention of a young soldier. Entranced by her song, the soldier drew near to Elindra's window. As their eyes met, he fell in love with her, and she with him. When Elindra told her father about the man she had chosen, he was furious, for Elindra was high-born, but her love nothing more than a common soldier. To keep them apart, he had Elindra imprisoned in the highest tower of his castle, and sent her soldier to the wars. Alas, not a month had passed before news of the soldier's death reached Elindra. Alone in her tower, Elindra wept for her love, and beseeched the gods to deliver her from this cruel world. So earnest was her plea that the gods themselves were moved. They gathered Elindra into their arms and lifted her high into the heavens, where she became a star. The gods also raised up the soul of Elindra's soldier love, and there he dwells, across the horizon from her. The band of stars between them is a river of Elindra's tears, cried for her lost love. They say that when Elindra has cried enough, she will be able to cross the river to be reunited with her soldier.
I'd like to hear another tale.
All right, it is my job to spin yarns after all.
Tell me about the Darkspawn.
Chantry law says it is man's pride that created the Darkspawn. In ages past, the mages of the Tevinder Imperium ruled much of the world we know. In their pride, they thought their magics invincible and imagined that they were greater than the Maker himself. So thinking, they invaded his golden city, planning to take it for themselves and depose their own creator. But they were impure and full of sin, and it is with the sin that they tainted the golden city, corrupting it forever. The Maker cursed them and cast them from his sight. Wherever they went, They spread the taint of their sin. Any land that was touched by the taint became blighted and would suffer no life. Instead, the Darkspawn arose to torment us and remind us of our hubris.
Know any stories from Orlais?
Of course, Orlesians enjoy telling stories. I shall tell you my favorite tale of Aveline, the Knight of Orlais.
That sounds interesting.
A long time ago, a girl child was born to a farmer. He had hoped for a son, not a daughter, and so he told his wife to abandon the child in the woods. Before the cold could claim her, the baby was found by a tribe of Dalish elves who took pity on the poor mewling thing and raised her as their own. Aveline, for that is what they called her, grew strong and quick and clever under the guidance of the elves. She learned to wield the sword as well as any man, could kill a deer with an arrow at 100 paces, and was as graceful on the back of a horse as she was on foot.
Continue, please.
Aveline's Dalish guardians saw that she could easily best any Orlesian chevalier in battle, and wanted to show the cruel humans the child they had left to die. They bestowed upon her a fine horse and armor, and sent her to prove herself to her people in the grand tourney. Now in those days, no woman was allowed to take up arms, let alone compete in the grand tourney, but Aveline kept her helmet on and was not discovered.
Did she win the tourney?
Aveline won many events and gained the approval of the adoring crowd. Eventually, she came face to face with the knight Kaleva in the grand melee. Aveline had already bested him in the joust, and Kaleva was determined not to lose a second time. Out of desperation to regain his honor, Kaleva tripped Aveline and tossed her to the ground, ripping off her helmet as he did so. Silence fell upon the arena as Aveline was revealed. Kaleva declared the previous competitions invalid. A woman had taken part, and this was not allowed. But the crowd cheered for Aveline. Kaleva was furious, for he had lost to a woman and was now being shamed. Blinded by his rage, he forced Aveline to her knees. "Know your place, woman," cried he, and slit her throat.
I was hoping for a happy ending.
The son of the king, Prince Freyan, was present. He recognized Aveline's skill and bravery and began to see the injustice done to the women in his land. When he was made king, he rewrote the laws of Orlais so that women could also become chevalier. He honored Aveline and knighted her after her death. And to this day, any female who is knighted reveres Aveline the Brave, for she is the patron of all women chevalier.
We heard about Darkspawn, right? Heck. Do you know any Ferelden legends?
I know one, told to me by my mother a long time ago. It always chilled me to the bone. Maybe you have heard of Flemeth?
Morgan's mother was called Flemeth.
Are you sure? Was she the Flemeth of legend? Flemeth, the devourer of men? Flemeth, mother of witches? Flemeth, demon-touched, who dwells in the mists?
She didn't really introduce herself as such.
Ferelden mothers scare their daughters with talk of Flemeth. They say that if you're bad, Flemeth will spirit you away and bind you to her forever. They also say that Flemeth mourns her lost beauty and will steal yours through your looking glass if she catches you.
Tell me the whole story.
Flemeth's beauty was known throughout the land. She had hair like unto a moonless night, skin as pale as winter's first snow, and eyes as beautiful and perilous as the sea. When she came of age, she came to the attention of the Lord of Highever, Conobar, and he took her for his wife. Conobar soon learned that his young bride had the gift of magic. He kept this a secret, for he feared that she would be taken from him. Flemeth stayed with Conobar for some years, and with his blessing, she practiced her art. And then one day, a young poet named Osen came to the castle. Flemeth was captivated by Osen's voice, and he by her beauty, and they fell in love.
Ooh, the plot thickens.
Flemeth longed to be with her true love, and she and Osen fled from Conobar's lands, seeking refuge in the Kokari wilds with the Chasing tribes. They lived there happily for many a year, till the day Flemeth received news that Conobar was dying and longed to see her face one last time. Flemeth's heart swelled with pity for the man who once was her husband, and begged Osen to return to Conobar's side with her. But when Flemeth and Osen entered Highever, they were captured by Conobar's men, and Osen was slain in front of Flemeth's eyes. Flemeth was imprisoned in the highest tower of the castle, there to await Conobar's judgment on her. Distraught at the loss of her love, Flemeth plotted revenge against her husband. She summoned a fey demon, intending for it to wreak vengeance on Conobar. But a spell went awry. The demon possessed Flemeth. Turning her into an abomination, the halls of the castle ran red with blood as Flemeth slaughtered Conobar and all his men.
Good.
The last of Flemeth's humanity melted away, and at dawn, she stole back to the wilds to plot and scheme for 100 years. They say she took to her side many Chasing men, and with their help, begat her daughter witches, who even now prowl the dark places of the Kokari wilds.
Yeah, alright. I believe we've heard everything. No, that's not gonna help me. Leliana.
Why, thank you so much.
Okay.
I'm here for you.
We need to talk.
Of course.
About us.
Wait, you want to talk about us? Is there something bothering you?
You are the best thing that has ever happened to me.
Really? You think so? You're so sweet.
Because, yeah, we're still together. Even though I gave her ugly shoes. I'm sorry, baby. And I'm gonna give you another thoughtful
Why,
gift.
thank you so much.
Good. We're at 88. She adores me. You.
Indeed.
Bruh.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Excuse me. Gosh. Dang. Diddly. Dang. So many. Ugh. Okay. I accept. You know where we're gonna go? We're gonna go to Banloran's lands. Take a closer look at the unarmed man. You're surprised to recognize the uniform of King Kaelin's honor guard. A memory comes to you. You fought alongside this man at Ostagar. Take a closer look at the guards. The guards wear the uniform of Ban Loren, a minor lord well known and little loved for the fluidity of his allegiances. Join the fray!
Run while you can.
actually think you have a chance? This should be easy, huh? Look at this mess! I love it!
That's a lot of blood.
Don't... Farria. Up close, the man's face is unmistakable. You remember him as Elric Maragine? A member of Kaelin's Autumn Guard at Ostagar and close confidant of the king.
Thank you. I didn't expect the band's men to notice my escape so quickly. I tried to hide here in the woods, but there wasn't time. And now I'm a dead man.
I tried to help.
You were there in Ostagar. You know how things went. For me, it was either this, or die in some darkspawn's belly, or be hung as a deserter.
Yes, I recognized your face.
You were there with the Grey Wardens, one of Duncan's new recruits. I was to guard the king. He was my friend, understand? Maker. All that time in Ban Loren's prison. And I couldn't stop thinking about all they suffered that one dark night at Ostagar.
At least they didn't suffer long.
Leave it to me to be the one who lingers. But if it's the likes of you who sees me to my final hour, perhaps things happen for a reason. The king entrusted me with the key to the royal arms chest. If anything were to happen to him, he said, it was vital I deliver it to the wardens.
Do you still have this key?
The Maker has a sense of humor, doesn't he? I suppose it's for the best, however. Had I kept it, it would be in Ban Loren's hands by now.
But you said Kaelin entrusted it to you.
I was afraid. I thought I would lose it on the battlefield, so I stashed it in the camp. Please, it's probably still there.
Where?
The key's behind a loose stone at the base of a statue. I'll draw a map for you, so you'll know where to search.
You'll be taking me along, won't you? Call me sentimental, but I left behind some dark spawn that really deserve a sword through the middle.
The events at Ostagar still haunt my thoughts, Warden. If that is where we are headed, I would like to accompany you.
It is vital that the king's documents do not fall into the wrong hands. As for Marik's sword, it is too powerful to be pawed at by those monsters. Same for the king's other arms and armor. And if you happen to find Kaelin's body, see it off. He was our king. He shouldn't be left to rot amidst the Darkspawn's filth.
Fuck Denerim. We're going back to Ostagar. Wish we could bury him too. This wasn't...
Let's get started. Dark spawn. Right.
Something about returning here makes me feel old, Win.
And what exactly are you implying, Alistair?
What? What? Nothing. No, I just thought...
You just thought I might be an expert at feeling old, and could share some sage advice.
I just mean that I was a different person then. I believed him, you know? That it would be a glorious battle, that we'd win.
I did too. We were all a little bit younger the last time we were here.
Well, not you. You've always been old.
With lips like that, son, you'll be lucky if you live to be half my age.
Hey, fire arrow. Eh. So... I'm sorry if you can hear that, by the way. My cat is having a grand old time. More sacks. But they're done that way. Am I crazy? Or I'm just a little, well, I know right now I can't tell. Ah, I see. We have to go this way.
Destroy the fiends.
This should be easy enough.
Right.
Let's get started.
Desperation is an ugly perfume. Right. That's one for me. Only one shall stand.
This should be easy enough.
Let's get started.
Strike.
It is done. Right.
Oh, Alistair. I didn't even see you go down, buddy. Oh. Damaged eye. Here, hold still. You alright?
I'm wondering something. I'd like to know your thoughts about some of our traveling companions. Do you mind if I ask?
Go ahead, I don't mind.
Zevran, the elf. You can't trust him, can you? Do you believe his so-called vow?
Yes, I actually do.
Really? Why? That's a lot of trust to put in someone who tried to kill you.
I'm willing to give him a chance.
Well, if you are, then maybe I should too. But that doesn't mean I won't keep an eye on him. He's just too shifty. What about Sten? The way he looks at me with those eyes. Creepy. And he's so quiet for someone so big.
He's dedicated, I'll give him that.
Yet he doesn't seem quite so bad as the Chantry tells us. According to them, his philosophy is vile and evil. Yet he seems so reasonable. And yet, he killed all those people. He doesn't even deny it. Doesn't that bother you?
He seems to regret what he did.
I'm not so sure that his regret means the same as it would for us. The Kunari sense of honor is a bit hard to grasp. For me, anyway. What about Leliana? Is she crazy? Or do you really believe in her vision?
That's my girlfriend. I believe that she believes in her vision.
That's one way to put it. I noticed that you and her have become close. Am I right? The rest of us have talked about it.
You talk about us.
You think we have better things to do than gossip about you? You give us far too much credit. Is it true or not?
Yes, we have a connection.
I thought so. Well, I hope you know what you're doing. I don't know what to make of her. If you look at her when she doesn't see you, she just looks so sad. I almost feel guilty taking her away from her life.
It was her choice.
Yes, I know. Still, I feel badly for her. Morrigan, do you trust her? Think about it. Maybe Flemeth sent her with us for some other reason than she said.
You really don't like each other, do you?
Well, aside from the fact that she's a complete and utter bitch, no, I don't like her at all. Why, do you?
I don't have to like her. She's useful.
That's the most sensible thing I've heard out of you yet. Just remember that she's dangerous too, and evil, and mean. Enough. I think my curiosity is sated. Let's get back to it, shall we?
I'm here for you.
What do you know of this place?
Next to nothing, I'm afraid. Perhaps there is little to know about this place, or I simply have not discovered its secrets yet.
Let's talk about something else.
I'm here for you.
Nothing, never mind.
What's on your mind?
I was just thinking about being a Grey Warden.
Is something troubling you?
Everyone expects so much from me.
No one said it would be easy. You are one of the 2 surviving Grey Wardens in Ferelden. You defend all of us, and much rests on your shoulders. It may not mean much to you, but thank you for having the courage to continue to fight.
I don't give up easily.
And that gives me hope.
How about it, Wolf? Nothing? Right. Can lock. Small chipped fire crystal. Kaelin's Greaves.
What's the matter, Alistair?
I don't know, it just feels wrong to find this here. Poured over by dark spawn and thick with their rot. It was his.
I know, I feel it too. But he is not the first king to ever fall in battle, or even the first to fall to the Darkspawn.
Yes, but this wound cuts deeper.
And it will bleed longer. But we must keep moving. No doubt the Darkspawn are eager to give us plenty more reasons to mourn.
I feel like we should have brought Sten. I feel like... I don't know, maybe... we could use a little stoicism. Oh no. I mean, I'm not a... I'm not Andrastian and... Oh, God. Is it in this list? It's a gift. Alistair, I know we're already friends, but...
Is that for me? Really? Wow! Wow!
Thank you, buddy. I need you to take care of that, alright? God. This way.
Darkspawn approach. Watch for their blood. On it. Keep in trouble! Let's end this! Let's get started. I got it!
Do you really wish to be beaten by an old woman?
This should be easy enough.
Right. On it.
This should be easy enough.
On it.
Here's some trouble! This should be easy enough.
Let's get started.
This should be easy enough.
Let's get started.
As you As you wish.
Darkspawn Forge. Can't do nothing with that. Oh, the mage's chest. Right, let's see. This, take all that. Fuck, I need more dexterity. Win, wait, hang on. With the new one, it's 574.34. Yeah. This one. Oh, wait. That's 12.5, yeah. This... armor... among the... None of that means nothing. Alright then. Here's the key. So... Kennels? Oh...
Let's get started. Right. This should be easy.
Right, man.
Right.
Let's do this!
Shield. I don't... Pile of 6. So... That's where the infirmary was. Dang it. Duncan's fire. I won't...
Right.
The Darkspawn have done their best to defy all the bonfire, but Duncan kept his nightly watch. Perhaps there's still some sense of the man's power.
I'm here for you.
Thank you. It's... Alistair. They still sense something of the man's power. Wait. Oh, that's duelist, right. But yeah, Ranger Bard. More decks. Let's go with... Oh. Stealing. Bard. Oof. Song of Valor. Achievement unlocked. Elite.
I'm here for you.
Yeah. I'm a bud. Never mind. Would have thought, you know, I don't know, something. So, wait, no, because that's where enemies are, and thus towards plot. And we don't go towards plot, remember? God.
On it.
We went to the kennels. We should have brought Harley, maybe. I don't know.
Let's get started.
Maybe we stop here for now. Yeah, we've got Kaelin's shield and his greaves, and that means there's still his gloves and his chest piece and his helmet to find, and so yeah, I will see you. I'll see you next time when we continue looking over Ostagar, yeah? Until then, bye-bye. Yeah.